Just wondering, have you ever been to the Martinsville races in recent NASCAR, like when Jeff Gordon won his last race, and even when Dale Jr. won?
Yeah, it's funny when it's not really funny when the track came apart at Martinsville. I think it was when Gordon won that one also, and they had to go out there with like some kind of concrete fix-up flat something to fix the track. I went up to help Morgan Shepherd. Now we had the '89 car, and during the red flag, Ricky Rudd, all these guys are laid out, Kyle Petty, getting the oxygen. And Morgan goes and gets his roller skates on, and while they're patching the track, he's doing a roller skating show down the backstretch for all the fans, and they're going crazy and laughing and cheering him on. And they interview Morgan, and he goes, "These younger guys are over here getting oxygen." And I can't remember how old he was at the time, old, like we were all getting, but he's out there on roller skates, going up and down the backstretch. So, yes, I was to a lot of those cup races.
That's really cool. Were you there for 2015 when Gordon won the last Martinsville race of his career?
Yes, I was there for that. Yep.
What was the reception of that like?
Oh, well, Jeff Gordon is one of the greatest. So, I mean, the fans were going crazy. It's unbelievable. All of his accomplishments and how good Hendrick Motorsports is at Martinsville. I mean, they are hands down the best at Martinsville. They've got it figured out.
Definitely. What was the reception like when Kenseth had his unfortunate incident with Logano?
Logano, oh, boy, the crowds, they love it, though. That's why short track racing is so entertaining for the fans. I mean, it's what they want to see. They beat and bang and you crash, but you don't get as hurt as bad just because you're, the speeds. But you get hot under the collar, the drivers do, the pit crews do, the crew chiefs get, upset. It's good old school racing.
Yep.
Always good show.
A good show for sure. What was working with Ron Hornaday like?
Oh, Ron's a mess. He is so fun. People don't understand when I'll say, like, if when I work with Joe Nemechek or I work with Steve Grissom or you work with Ron Hornaday. These guys are champions for a reason. The way they conduct themselves, the way they carry themselves, the way they are behind the wheel, their knowledge of the race cars. Ron could say, "Hey, Teddy, need a 200-pound spring in the left rear," and you don't think to go, well, what if you just kind of do it because of their knowledge and how many laps they have behind the wheel and what they need to feel. Ron's doing his dirt cars now and having fun, and they've got a little shop here in Mooresville that they're doing good business, and Ron's a racer. He can build anything out of a pair of channel locks and vice grips, I believe.
That's good to hear, and I would agree. He was a great ambassador for the truck series back when I was growing up.
Yes. Yeah, he put the truck series on the map. And always had a smile on his face.
Yeah, he definitely did. So, how did you get your ride with Bob Jenkins, if you did, or that team that you were in?
It started off with Jimmy Means. Jimmy Means and Bob were friends for a long time, and Bob kind of helped Jimmy behind the scenes a lot. So when Bob wanted to do a cup team, Jimmy was doing one, and he called me up and asked me if I'd help do one. And we had Chad Chaffin and Randy LaJoy at the time, and we were getting Dodges for Petty's. So it was a good thing, and that's when Bob had just put his feet in the water and kind of figuring it out. And he's been solid here. They won their first race. Well, they won the Daytona 500 this year, Mike McDowell. And, he spent a lot of his own money to get here. He's doing a good job.
Definitely, and he's really lifted his team off with the truck team that they had.
Yeah. I don't know what their plans are for that next year, but Todd Gillen is another one who's a very, very talented young driver and carries himself well. David's, had him around the race cars, the race trucks his whole life. He's super knowledgeable and pleasant to talk to. Very proud of what Todd and David are doing.
Definitely. So, just wondering, you said you didn't work with Greg Sachs, but you have a friendship with him. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's he like?
He's good. He can drive the wheels off of anything too. He's always fast. A lot of teams went to him because he could qualify into these big races. He can qualify. He's like Mike Wallace. Those guys, they can get it done when it comes to qualifying. So just, he's down in Florida now, and he comes around every once in a while. Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Glad to hear that. I remember watching a YouTube video of him having that amazing race with Dale Earnhardt at Talladega. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. They always, like I said, at Speedway, Greg was always up there. Mike Wallace, it didn't matter what he's driving. He's always up front. There's just certain guys, kind of like the way Keselowski is now, or Logano is on the Speedway. Them guys just, they know what to do. They get there quickly.
Definitely. So how'd you get your ride with Mike Curb's team?
Cary-Agajanian. I've known him for a long time, and Mike Curb, and I've had a lot of business with drivers through Mike Curb. He's always liked the way I've handled myself and made his cars run good. And we were over at the Channel Lock team, and it was 43, of course, because of Richard Petty and the long-term relationship Mike Curb and Richard Petty have had. That's been, a very long relationship, a good one. We had the Fike brothers. They did a good job. And then we had Jeff Green, which is a pleasure to always work with. We had Ron Fellows for Watkins Glen. And, anytime you get a chance to work with Ron Fellows on a road course, you open arms and bring him on. Of course, we didn't have the day we wanted there when Ron drove for us. We ended up breaking, but man, he's an amazing guy driving anything on a road course. And then, also with the Curb, we had I worked with Kevin Swindell at Venerini Motorsports. Brandon Finger has a relationship with him, and I work with Grant. We won the marker races. So yeah, I've had a good relationship with them.
That's really cool. What was Ron's reaction when the car ended up dropping out at the Glen?
Oh, him. It's not a good day anytime you break with Ron Hornaday. I mean, with Ron Fellows, or Ron Hornaday, trust me, with Fellows, because that's when you want to turn the radio down just a little bit.
Yeah, it was. That's really interesting, definitely, because Ron's a champion in sports cars for that type of track, and Ron Hornaday is a champion in trucks. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So, what was your reaction to hearing that Ron Fellows got the Member of the Order of Canada, if you did?
That's a pretty big deal there. I actually saw that, and I was like, wow. But I mean, the guy wins at anything. It doesn't matter. If you're on a road course, whether it's a Trans Am or when he drove for Joe Nemechek all those years in a truck, I mean, the guy is unbelievable when it comes to road racing.
Definitely. And I think he had a couple runner-ups to Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart, and finishing second to those guys, would mean that you did something pretty good in the race.
Correct.
So definitely. So what was working with Steve Grissom like?